are you staying positive?
It's more of like I have a responsibility, I have an obligation, I have something that I committed to. All the resiliency work that I've done over the last 15 years, it's been about following through with commitments that you've made. You know, when you get on one knee and you make a proposal to something, then you make sure you follow through with that proposal. This journey kind of started off with just being something I wanted to do for me and my own resiliency, and then kind of in the journey teaming up with you, it became this idea of like, well, can we do two birds with one stone here? Can we help somebody in this shared responsibility where literally the only way you're getting me off this track without completing 31 miles is if there's a paramedic open, you know, slapping my face and waking me up. That's kind of where I'm at more. It's like kind of tuning into this zone of accountability and responsibility. This isn't necessarily about fun right now. What do you think about my run tomorrow?
It'll be great. He will be good. And he will never give up. This is gonna be his biggest run yet. And I know he's never gonna quit. And I'm pretty excited for Daddy to challenge himself to the Ultra Max.
Go ahead, tell me about my running tomorrow.
I run you and then I tap a photo.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Big day, 50K. I got my gear set up over here. The person who's helping me with this pledge, Ricki Townsend, just an angel of a human being. Not only has she helped with setting up all this from getting the GoFundMe ready and all this stuff so that it's hands off and I'm not touching any of the funds from an ethical standpoint with my private practice. She's also coming out here and helping me today out on the track, and she'll be out here in about an hour and a half. So hopefully I'll have some miles in before she even gets here. It is supposed to be about 100 out here today. There's a part of that I'm weirdly excited about. I know it's going to make this even more mentally challenging, going through that when the heat is really bearing down on me with no shade. I do have some shade canopy here, so in case I need it. All right. Lap 1.
Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits.
Just got a little nervous. Saw some ladies coming up to the snack bar stand up here. I thought, oh no, is there a football game? Is there something happening today on this track? A track meet or something? So I went up there and asked them, and they said, well, if you call cleaning an event, we're having an event. They're up there cleaning the snack bar and stuff. So some small hurdles just mentally going on already. Kind of been par for the course on these things. That's why I guess they say training's important. You get to know what to expect through that experience.
It's time for another epic run. We know he can do this, and we all know that he won't give up. And if he does, it is going to be game over.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel?
If he does this, he will be like an ultra runner.
How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack.
This has to be around 7 miles. Kenny's knees giving him a little bit of an issue, but his mind is doing really well.
I'm living up every breath. I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I said.
You're at mile?
10 miles. I'm getting I haven't had this happen before, but I'm getting a blister in between my toes.
Uh-oh.
But I did come on prepared. So it's like, I always ask my clients, so what's the gum underneath your shoe? What's the thing that sticks with you on a regular basis? You know you got to work on it. You know you got to take that gum underneath your shoe off, but you don't feel like there's time for it. And this is one of those situations where I feel like I got to make time for it. I just got in 10 miles and I'm, not even a third of the way done. I want to complete my task. I better address the issue now. I'm hoping, because sometimes in real life you address the issue and it only awakens further issues, and I'm hoping that's not the case here. I'm hoping this doesn't create more issues by me trying to address this issue.
Going through this, what would the positive thing now that you'll be telling yourself instead of focusing on the toe?
If this were to represent sort of early recovery, distraction, or trying to get in a zone to where you're not thinking about too much or not focusing too much on the problem as much as just trying to zone out and get into a space of not thinking about a lot. Sometimes distraction in the long run when it comes to recovery becomes problematic, but initially it can be your savior. Okay, so I guess the only quick thought I have is I have a twinge in my right hamstring, and I know exactly what that is. Since today's going to be a lot of cramping, so that should at least get some good footage of a grown man weeping. You know, bypassing this impromptu aid station every quarter of a mile really makes this thing psychologically harder. It's pretty incredible, because it's almost like every lap, Ricki, I want your help. Ricki, hand me something. And so I'm trying to get myself into a zone. I'm trying to both listen to myself when I do need water or something like that, because I want to stave off these cramps. There's also a point where I want to find my flow state and not need that aid station and be able to build off of my own psychological resilience.
This is mile 20 and a quarter.
Just around there.
Okay.
Hitting that nice famous wall.
Did you have any denial that you couldn't do it, and then went into, hey, maybe I can, and that sort of thing?
I'm at the beginning. My knees are off, and I have, I had other sort of little injuries. So there's a reason why I don't run or do endurance work, The beginning of this was like, I ran that marathon. And about a week later, or whatever, I went for a run and I got a mile and a half. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Daddy will not quit.
Yeah. When you were struggling with using or not using, did you self-talk? Did you pray? Did you talk to others?
Yeah, I was surrounding myself around a bunch of other people, like-minded people who also wanted to be sober. And then I set up did some self-binding, so I gave up my funds. I was a grown man and I gave up my card to my dad and said, hey, give me $40 a week cash to live off of for meals. I did things like that where I cut off and just kind of surrendered my ego. Listened to people that knew more than me. That's it in a nutshell.
So
I'm gonna get going.
go. Okay. Go.
Speed up a little bit.
Okay.
Come on, Daddy. Keep running. Keep running, Daddy. Keep running.
What mile are we on?
24 and a half.
The other day at Lowe's, a woman selling something. I stopped, I gave her money, we talked. She had 48 hours without alcohol. Told her I had 38 years that day. She said, oh my God, does it get any easier?
For me in that time, anything that anyone could have shared with me that I would have believed that talked about anything beyond an extended period of time of maybe a week or two, I would have called them liars. Threefold: metaphysically, physically, and philosophically, the answer is yes. Physically, from a neurotransmitter standpoint, it's a dopamine issue. You allow the dopamine system to heal itself by taking away the things that produce a ton of it, so immediate gratifying behaviors and substance use, etc. And then the dopamine system will recalibrate for most people. Then from a philosophical standpoint, the answer still remains yes. There's promises that are made within the 12-step community to speak to this, but if you're able to do a week and you never thought you could do a week, then what makes you think you can't do two? So it's a matter of working your brain and your perceptions of things out appropriately to match what your goals are and what your standards are for yourself. So that's about putting yourself around the right community, putting yourself around the right people that's going to speak life and wisdom into you and no longer accept the garbage or your resistance. It's unacceptable to them. Put yourself around those people. And then metaphysically, whatever your higher power is, I would say find one, find it. And whatever that higher power is, I'm going to promise you there's nothing within that higher power's philosophy that says that you can't do it or you can't achieve. I freaking guarantee you there's nothing within that higher power's philosophy that's going to speak other than growth for you.
What mile are we at?
28.7.
Okay. A little tumbleweed.
That's a metaphor for Rick. One of the reasons why I wanted to do the track, I wanted this to be a mental exercise, not a physical exercise.
Oh, okay.
And so the whole time I've been training on my own. So much about recovery and resiliency and mindset is doing things without the accolades or without the people to support you or cheer you on. You're a tumbleweed on a track by yourself.
What mile are we at?
I don't know.
Okay. Body telling you anything?
90s love song. My mind keeps telling me no, but my body keeps telling me yes.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of that.
Yes.
I feel like a 18-wheeler with a Prius engine right now.
There they go. Mile 31.
All right, so a little bit over, but I'm going to do one more lap. Lost a client a couple of days ago from an overdose, and so I want to run. I'm going to do one more lap just to kind of honor the fallen. That's something that I have found myself doing lately, is reminding myself in a particular training session that this is just a training session. There is no finish line. The finish line is when my head finally hits the pillow at the end of my life.
You did it. God.
And I can take a big inhale and exhale and be satisfied. Until then, there is no finish line. This is just a training session.